Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
I would like to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Knon 89.3 FM, the voice of the people. Got a lot of things to talk about. I got a studio full. Got more callers calling in 8 o'clock hour. We got a full plate today. But we'd like to thank God for all of you listening and everybody being here at you. Hopefully you having a good Juneteenth weekend. Don't forget the day. That is the day that slavery ended in America, when it was announced by General Granger in Galveston. It's ended slavery, chattel slavery on our ankles, on our wrists. But we still have a fight because many of us still have chains on our minds. So we have got to wake up. We got to loose ourselves. And you're talking about, woman, thou art loose. You're not loose yet. You got some other things you need to do to get really, truly free. So we'll be talking about that later. But we'd like for you all to go around the studio. One person you will recognize immediately, the Reverend Dr. Ron Wright. Introduce yourself. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor. How you doing this morning? I'm Reverend Ron Wright, Justice Seekers, Texas.
Who's the pretty lady next to you?
Sister Annette Jones, and next to her is Brother Dennis Jones, who is an employee of Dallas County, who we're going to speak on a little bit later on during the course of the show. And, of course, next to him is Brother Ike Steen in the house.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All righty. Well, we're talking about, it's Dallas County.
Yeah, got several things. First of all, I want to announce, Pastor, and of course you were there, that we filed a federal oversight against the Dallas Police Department Internal Affairs this past week, based on the fact that the Tobias Mackey case was settled through the city of Dallas. And when you settle a case, and this is like, there's been 60 unarmed killings in this community, and out of the 60,
where is that? This spring?
Well, probably pretty close to
Dallas had they used to kill 15 a year.
Yeah, well,
it was bad. You shoot over 30. I'm going back in the 80s when we took to the streets.
Well, the numbers have got up to $7 million in taxpayers' money that have been paid out.
That must be this year, but they find these guys guilty, pay our taxpayer dollars, and then keep them on the force. Or
let them go be a police officer somewhere else.
They don't lose their license.
They don't lose their T-close license. They keep their T-close license, and that's what we're gonna get on the city of Dallas about, because they out of the 68, they probably have indicted 2. And one was an officer who shot a gentleman while he was mentally challenged, and the chief apologized to him. And I told on our press conference, I noticed, I said, David, Chief Brown owes Tobias Mackey's family an apology, because their son was murdered. Right. And they don't like saying that word, but that's exactly what took place. He was murdered, and because he was murdered, taxpayers get to pay for the penalty that this officer crime he committed, and nothing ever happens to him.
A whole bunch of our people have been murdered.
57% African Americans.
I know that we had to force them to indict Kane. Exactly. He was the killer of Santos Rodriguez.
There's only been 2. Kane was one of them. That was back in the 70s.
73. Somewhere along 73 in there. 73 has only been 2 out of the 68. Kane lived in the same apartments I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was an arrogant son of a gun. And when he killed a little boy, he was right off Harry Hines.
Harry Hines. They were Russian roulette.
Playing Russian roulette, spinning it with one bullet in the
behind the kid, a little young kid.
Oh, he was a little bitty boy. Santos was about 8 years old. Blowed the whole side of his head off. hit him on this side, blowed this side off. Oh, yes, this was terrible.
And so Dallas has been going through this, and none of these officers have been indicted. And so we decided to file a federal oversight with the federal FBI first, and they actually in the district attorney's office. But the district attorney's office actually should have already, we've been dealing with some district attorneys who haven't been on top of their job. But, when you got a district attorney that looks like you, and he don't bother to say, wait a minute.
Here's what they used to have that was so terrible in Dallas. It was supposed to have been good. They used to have what was known as a police review board.
But they still have the citizen review board.
But it doesn't have any subpoena power to it.
It doesn't, because those people are put in place in those positions by elected city councilmen. Right. So we need an independent citizen review board that's not afraid or don't have to suck up to the city council person that put them in there. Well, although they've done a great job.
They choose the right people. They've had some good people on that board, but without subpoena power, without being able to subpoena those same records that the police department have. See, they have this inward affair now where the police department oversees it. But that's nothing but like giving a discrimination case to the Ku Klux Klan. That's all it is.
Exactly.
So we have really no subpoena power, no power to review these things, and we should have the power to make sure that these policemen are prosecuted to the hilt. When they kill people, when they take their lives, they maim people, and not only death, brutality.
But that's the purpose of internal affairs, Pastor, and that's why we filed against them.
But who runs internal affairs?
Again, just like you just said, that would be example.
That's the Ku Klux Klan investigating discrimination.
And it's not going to happen.
It ain't going to happen.
And that's our problem. And not just in the murders we've had several complaints in our office of how officers have abused their former wives and things of that nature. Internal Affairs refused to do anything to those officers. In that Tobias Mackey case,
Miller, was that last week when they were calling in, talking about how the police harass all these young women and try to make them fool with them and all? Yes. Was that last week? That was last week. Now, young women tell me that all the time. That policemen will pull them over, rub their breasts, and do everything.
And see, what they don't realize,
I'm told a lot of brothers is doing this.
What they don't realize, a lot of them might not be but 12 or 13 years old, so that's kind of statutory rape. They might look like
they have
30.
no business harassing citizens. They have no business whatsoever. So we have got to get on top. This police department, I don't care. Brown's a black chief, but he got into some problems out there in Lancaster when he first got the job. And it looked like he had to,
and it's because of that, he seemed like he sold his right. And a lot of people say the same thing. Even the media comes to me and asks me, well, Reverend Ryan, what you complaining about? The chief of police is white. The head chief is white. The district attorney, is black. The head district attorney is black. So why y'all complaining? And I said, we've had... when black folks were brought over in this country, they had jigaboos help bring them over here. We've always had black folk to go against black folk and tell us out.
Many times out in the fields, they would have no white person. They would have the handkerchief here to oversee the rest of them. And there, he would oversee, and if anything go wrong, he had the right to shoot his own people, and many times they did. They would whip them, they would beat them. So that's nothing new by putting a black face in charge to say we should not speak up.
But Pastor, how long is it going to take for citizens to realize that we're spending our money and none of these officers are being indicted?
But look at what happened. In the 80s, African American people were very outspoken in Dallas. We used to just flood City Hall, flood the streets, call for a march, everybody show up. But what happened? They used a black face to silence us.
That's right.
And his name was Ron Kirk. He said, we're not going to play the blame game anymore. And when they made Ron Kirk mayor, they made him mayor. They snatched him out of nowhere and made him
no history
mayor.
In this city whatsoever of anything.
Yeah. So what they had going for them is that if we started complaining, then they said we are working against our own people. That was not true. But we did silence, and we made a mistake there. We should have kept the noise up, the racket going, and kept up the march and kept on pushing forward. But because we had a black man, we sort of, backed off a little bit. That was a bad mistake. All right. 972-647-1893. They're calling already. I hadn't given the number out. But do you have something there, something else you want to bring up?
Well, this is about the Dallas County situation when we get ready to start talking about Dennis. On next Tuesday, we're having a press conference. Several of the Dallas County employees are filing a racial discrimination lawsuit against Dallas County.
Dallas County?
Dallas County.
I thought everything was all right at Dallas County.
Well, not Dallas County in Dallas, Texas. It might be Dallas County.
Y'all go to our man downtown and get this straight?
Went begging, crying, and screaming, and we had to get other help, outside help.
What happened?
Dennis was falsely accused of, he was terminated back in February of 2011. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, they accused him of lying on his background because they said he had a felony in his background. Mm-hmm. And so they said they're going to do a background check and they're going to do a county-wide background check, not just on Dennis, but on everybody else, which was not true. And come to find out that Dennis, whatever his background is, there were several whites and Hispanic who work for Dallas County right now who have a criminal background. Mm-hmm. And yet they chose to pick Dennis out of all the people because he chose to be a voice in what was going on. That was a very racist manager in Dallas County at that particular time. Mm-hmm. And eventually, after Dennis and them kept complaining, he wasn't the only one. There was several people complaining. After he kept complaining, they fired that particular city manager. We fired that city manager. Mm-hmm. And when they did that, somebody posted his picture in all the buildings in Dallas County, and they accused Dennis Jones of doing that, who does not have access to all of the buildings. And when I say all the buildings, I mean Frank Crowley.
Who was doing all of this?
Well, they had several people, several managers that were talking to black folk like they were crazy, writing racial things on the whiteboard, just walking around with with false teeth, false gold teeth. You can tell them some of the things.
And they had false gold teeth, portraying the role of putting on, dropping their pants down past their buttocks and saying this is how we do it in the hood.
This was happening in Dallas County
by supervisors,
with supervisors
making homosexual jokes and things of that nature, which I probably offended some of the homosexual employees. But at the end of the day, they were doing it. But the supervisor was doing it, and when the complaints were made, they would simply say, "Oh, we were just joking," and that would be the end of it. Even with the racial statements.
Who would review the complaints? Who were these people?
Well, Dallas County commissioners should have reviewed the complaints, and from what I understand is that they were informed of this going on, and at one point, as a matter of fact, when they were first initially were told about what the management was doing, they all got raises.
Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, no. Something is wrong here. Now, you're saying that y'all were harassed, and when you spoke out, they rebuffed you?
In a terrible way. They went out their way. One time I came into our workspace, and one of the supervisors at that time had a cell phone, and they would do graffiti up on it with a turkey and a black man's head on top of it. And it would say gobble, 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 and it would use the word in. And I told them, you can't do that. And they told me, you don't know who you're talking to. You got to get out of this.
This was at Dallas County?
Dallas County.
Very alive and well.
Retaliation against not only just Mr. Jones, but several other employees. And we've got several documents that's notarized from not just black employees, but white employees saying that, some of the things that they were doing were very, very racist.
Department heads.
All right. Did y'all talk to John Wiley about this?
I went to him. We've even pulled him in on a deposition. I paid money for him, Daryl Martin, all of upper management, and I've asked for help, and I have gotten no help. I went to the EEOC, have gotten over 7 rights to sue from the senior federal investigators. They told me this needed to be brought to the news media attention to let them know what's going on down in Dallas County. And it's not stopping. It's alive and well down there.
Where did you work in Dallas County?
I still work down there.
Where do you work now?
I work in the facilities department. I work in the buildings of George Allen's, the museum. I run 5 buildings at nighttime.
Okay, give me some locations of these buildings where people can place them.
The buildings, as far as what?
Now, I know most people know where George Allen and Frank Crowley is. That's right there at the
museum,
jails and all that.
Where I work at is George Allen, the museum, the records building, at court administration, which where all the commissioners and the judges at, and also JFK, where John F. Kennedy was the young man had shot at him at that point.
Yeah, Texas School Book Depository.
Depository building.
And I've came to them and I've talked to them over and over, and I said I need some help, and I had to hire someone. And then I looked out and I prayed, and God put him in front of me, Reverend Wright, and so he's gotten into this with me to help me with this fight. When I've gotten with every right to sue through the EEOC, I went down to the Earl Campbell building, the federal building, to get help. And I got a federal lawsuit that's been active now for over almost 3.5, 4 years. You can pull it up online.
This has been going on that many years.
Yes, it hasn't been dealt with. I mean, they have been shoving this up under the rug.
Have you ever gone to commissioner's court to complain about this?
It's almost a joke. It's almost a joke.
Not only has the commissioner's court is aware of it, the county district attorney's office was aware of it, because they filed that they had been harassing some of the witnesses. They had been harassing Dennis. They forced him to take a polygraph test, and that's another thing that we're going to address with one of the other departments. They forced him to take a polygraph test to say that he put posters of the employer that was fired for making some of the racist statements, and he had nothing to do with the building and never had access to get into the building. But they tried to force and threaten him to admit that he hung all the posters around.
This is their way of retaliation.
This is their way of retaliation. That came from the sheriff department, and we're going to deal with them later.
This is radio station Knon 89.3 FM on your dial. We're up against a short break, but you can call us at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. All righty, we got here with us Reverend Ron Wright and a young lady, Miss Jones and Mr. Jones, and our own, y'all hear him all the time, Mr. Ike Steen is with us this morning. We're talking about discrimination at Dallas County, discrimination. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Onia. Good morning, Onia. Lost her? All righty. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to James. All righty. Good morning, James.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you?
Right.
Good morning.
Right here. Let me say, I'm preparing for our Juneteenth this morning. We're going to do a reenactment of the Freedom March when after free slave was allowed to vote for the first time. That's part of our program this morning. I've been up since 5 getting this thing underway. But anyway, let me say this right quick. As far as the police, I mentioned last time that we were trying to keep the police, Black Chief of Police, Robert Herbert. We've been to several meetings, rallies and all. And there's a meeting today that we're going to talk about it. But Monday, the city council meeting, past city council meeting last Monday, 4-3 voted to get rid of him. 4-3. 2 whites, 2 blacks, and 1 white. One of the whites, one we thought was a part of the establishment, voted to keep him. The other white that we thought would work with us wound up going the other way. So this whole community is upset with him, and it has something to do with Wallimont. I'll go that far. And then let me say this. The other thing is that Monday there's a lot of people lined up to speak to try to continue his work here. And that was a survey put out by the police department. Reverend Wright, you're probably familiar with these old union police officers. They came in there bombarding everybody with these surveys and studies. And one of the things I noticed on there was no name to claim fame to these surveys and things. It's like a blank sheet somebody bump up, and all those questions and things were loaded. This is what we're up against right now, but we have good faith, and we appreciate your prayer, but it's a lot of more going on. I'm in a rush right now to tell you, but we appreciate you, and as I can, I will keep you updated on it, and if any way we need your assistance, we'll give you a call. But if we can also come that way, we're willing to come there with cameras and everything, Mr. Wynn and I and whoever else is coming with me.
All right. Thank you for your call and comment.
Yes, sir.
There clears the line, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Black Hawk. All right.
Hello, Reverend Barnett.
Hello, how are you?
It's Black Hawk. Yeah, I got beat up by the police, David Lopez, back in 2010. And nothing happened to that. So if some people out at SWS, they had problems, they should call Miss Johnson. Ask for a meeting with her. That's all we got to do. We had the same problem in Plymouth Park. I was on crime watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I got beat up by police.
What happened?
Run out of there.
What happened after you filed a complaint? What did they do?
Well, Eddie Bates Johnson and Joanne Price came out of there. They put me in Green Oaks a whole bunch of times. I kept getting out. Green Oaks cookie, supposed to sit down to cookie, Dad.
Here we go.
You know this.
Yeah.
So,
we got you. Mm-hmm.
I'm doing fine right now.
Yeah, I'm glad. And
I got a place to stay. I was homeless. I got homeless after I got illegal eviction.
right.
So I got a place to stay. I'm doing fine. I want to let you know that. So
All right, thank you.
Call everybody Johnson's out.
We certainly will. All righty. You have a good day. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. We're talking about Dallas County, discrimination at Dallas County. Now, how far have you taken this, Mr. Jones?
I'm at the federal court. Judge Fishwater is over this right now. I just want to recap on something a little bit and kind of bring the public up to speed on something. One of the affairs is where I was called into questioning. I was under management, which is, and it's nothing about just race, but white management at this time still. And I was called into internal affairs. And I was bullied and being accused of putting posters up.
Who did this?
One of the lead detectives, a murder detective of 22 years. And
this is the Dallas Police Department?
Yes,
Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff's Department.
All right.
I was called in. Since then, there's no calls that are being answered by him directly. I called my attorney and told him what happened. They put me inside of a room, and they implicated me in doing some wrongdoings in Dallas, which was not true because I don't have access to any of the internal affairs computers. We can't go in their department to do any work.
Have you talked with Lupe Valdez?
Lupe Valdez was notified, but the Sheriff's Department wants to stay out of it. They don't want nothing to really do with it.
But it says the Dallas County Sheriff's Department, a detective?
That was a division. Internal affairs is its own division, separate just from the Sheriff's Department.
It's totally separate from the Sheriff's Department.
They work together as a group, but it's...
We are going to address that.
But they both are under the commissioners, right?
Yeah, we're going to address that with the Sheriff's Department because that was probably something that shouldn't have took place. And so we're going to address that with the Sheriff Local.
It sounded like this was another form of harassment also.
Well, it was. He tried to coerce. The officer tried to coerce Mr. Jones into confessing to doing something that he had no access in the building of doing.
So they're really trying to destroy your reputation and fire you all at the same time, where you cannot sue them once you have been terminated.
Well, they threatened him, and he's already got, EOC has given him close to 9 or 10 counts of suing, but they've tried to also force him to take a polygraph test. They threatened him if he didn't take the polygraph test, he would lose his job, and everyone in that department should have been able to take that polygraph test. You can't say one person do it and not do the rest of them, because there again you're discriminating because you're picking out. This is one of those situations where a management lost his job. The guy that was responsible for a lot of the racist statements lost his job, and Mr. Jones was probably the one they had said the reason why he done it was because of Mr. Jones.
Who's your immediate supervisor?
At this point, is African American. His name is Jerome, but his hands are tied because of the way management is set up, and it's been like that. If we could take it back 200 years, it would be 200 years, and he's part of what...
How's his hand tied?
He will say, my boss told me.
Who is his boss?
His boss is...
Who?
Can I say his name?
Yeah.
Oh, his name
boss?
is Paul Wright. Paul Wright.
Is he black?
Oh, they all white. All upper management was designed by one person from many years ago to design itself to put each one of these people in a supervisor position, where they really don't give any African Americans.
I was under the impression so much had changed at Dallas County. You said people that are in upper level management for the most part in Dallas County is are whites.
Maintenance. We have 2 African Americans at this time, which is 3. 1 just got added, but they had to hire an outside source, a young Hispanic, to come in and fix the problems because of my lawsuit. You can go online and look at it. It's under racial discrimination. Dennis Jones, $60 million. Dallas County notice has been going on for well over 4 years. I've been here 6 years, but I've been fighting this battle since the day I got there. I'm very outspoken. I don't believe in a man of any color disrespecting a woman in any form, shape, or manner. But when I seen that, and also with the manager that was there,
someone disrespected a woman.
Oh,
they even had situations where women had to raise their hands to use the restroom. And so we're looking at
management.
Women had to raise their hands to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Where?
Dallas County.
Let me back it up. Dallas County again. And it's still.
If she got to go to the restroom, she got to raise her hand.
She has to raise her hand.
Raise your hand. There you go.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah.
No.
And even
in 2014,
when they initially fired Mr. Jones, they ended up had to rehire him back because they realized that all of it was a bunch of mess and was wrong. And they were discriminating against him because he had a felony in his background, but the majority of the employees down there that were white and Hispanic had felonies.
They fired me for 4 months. They cleaned up my record to make it look like I was never fired. I got paid my back pay. I got back well over $11,000, which is no money, but it was the ideal that they did it. So they said they made a mistake, but we're going to drop the incident from here.
Okay, did they give you any extra money rather than just your back pay?
No.
That was no compensation for being fired?
None. And it took right back off.
And the harassment continued to go on with him.
It never stopped. They just transferred me. They said they didn't want me in the jails. And I said, how you going to stop me from doing my job? John Wiley Price told them that all of us should work together as one, as a unit. So the way the committee is formed in facilities, they don't want this to happen. But they keep this away from the commissioners. So I had to go public with it. And
you took it to the commissioners,
I've taken it to the commissioners. The only way I could get justice was to go to EEOC and ask for their assistance. I went to them over 7, 8, 9 times saying the same thing on different events that have happened.
Have you talked to anybody with the Justice Department?
No. Only Justice Department that I'm getting right now is Reverend Wright.
Well, you know, when we say we've got certain things happening, we give an illusion of inclusion, the illusion of freedom, an illusion of there are things that are going on that's great in our community, but at the same time, too many times when we go behind the scenes and we begin to investigate, we find the same thing going on now that was going on 40 years ago.
Absolutely.
They didn't want it.
And nothing's really changed. And it seems like this is another situation. Dallas County. You see a lot of us out front. If you go get your license or different things, we window dressing. But those who are holding the jobs that's really paying well, you are saying these still are basically whites.
Yes, and the manager, the department head that's over all of us, he told me point blank to my face. He said, I wish I could take this back to where it was 50 years ago. That way we wouldn't have no more problems down here.
It seemed like it's back 49 years.
And I told him, I said, as long as I'm here, you're going to have problems with me, partner. You better bet that. So since that day, it ain't been right.
And since these incidents have been reported to the district attorney's office and to the county commissioner's court of the harassment, and the harassment continues to go on, and nothing's been done. And so we've come to the point, and certain things Mr. Jones can't say because he's being represented by his attorney. But this week we're going public with what is going on with Dallas County. The judge said he didn't have a problem with going public for some reason. You know, most counselors don't want to go public. And I don't know why, but this week we're going to let the taxpaying citizens of Dallas County know that the activities that are going on down there is the same activities that was going on in the 40s and the 50s.
All right, we have got to definitely address this situation, and this is Detective Feder, huh?
Yes.
He's the one that questioned you?
Correct. Interrogated.
And did he give you a reason why he did that?
He told me that, which was Paul Wright, and he showed me. I said, before I answer any questions, I need to know what I'm being charged of, because I don't feel this is right.
And what we want to know is why he was isolated as one to take the polygraph test versus the entire staff, and he didn't have access to the buildings where they accused him of hanging the posters. And so
it's like I can't go to your house without some keys.
All right. Well, then in other words, by you being the only person that put you on the undue duress, because you're the only one hanging out there that has to fend for everybody else. And I can tell you why you were put in that situation, because you were outspoken and you were about to be exposed to things that are going on, and they wanted to shut you up.
Well, it got so dangerous to the point to where they told me that if I wasn't down in the office by 3:10, they was going to have one of the other white supervisors escort me. They wanted to take me to the polygraph test that taxpayers had spent over $65,000 on a test that was called insufficient evidence of the taxpayers' money. This is just one incident of money being spent throughout Dallas County on what they're throwing away on stuff that they mess up on continuously. But they threatened me and told me if I did not get in that vehicle at 3:10, I was to be terminated, to take my badge and my keys, and to escort me out the building after I had been rehired. So I had to go back to EEOC, file another right to sue. Senior investigators looked over the case again, and they said something needs to be done. Enough is enough. The media needs to be involved.
Well, could not these people be fired?
Because they have someone over them that's controlling them, that's supporting them.
That supports what they did.
Well, the commissioners are over everybody.
If you let your child run around the house and do whatever he wants to and it's okay, guess what? He's going to do it anywhere
And the commissioners doing nothing about this.
I got a stack of papers from years ago that I have nothing but facts, undeniable facts, that will be proven also in court and with the news media. So this is why we're bringing it to you all now, to let you know that there is active problems here in Dallas County.
So you telling me our man downtown is doing nothing about this?
Well, we don't know who all the commissioners didn't know about it. There was some, because I talked to a couple who didn't know this activity was going on. And the judge didn't probably know this was going on, but there were other commissioners down there that did know this was going on, and nothing happened.
But our man downtown knew that what was going on because it was reported to them. And let me lighten you guys on something. When they polygraphed my husband, what they did was once we filed a complaint with the EOC for retaliation and harassment, then they came back and took his department and polygraphed them after we filed a complaint.
Wow.
And then that's when they spent the money of the taxpayers, and they came up with a bogus...
on a frivolous charge.
And then all this money that was spent throughout the tax... But this is one event of many others, and it was, I think, $65,000 that the taxpayers don't know, that when your money is being spent and you don't know how your money is being spent, I'm letting you know.
Okay.
Somebody's controlling your dollar.
Let's go to our phone lines. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Miss O'Neill. All righty?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Hello, good morning. How are you guys?
Fine. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you. What I wanted to address you with was an incident that happened downtown Dallas on one of the main streets, probably was Elm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the roller derby girls were passing out the brochures for their next roller derby bout.
I tell you what, Miss O'Neill, could you hold up and hang on for a few minutes? I'm up against a short break, and we'll come right back to you. Could you hang on? All right, put it on hold. We're up against a short break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. Stumbling over myself this morning. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. Let's go back to line 3 and say good morning to Miss O'Neill. Let's see if she's still holding.
Yeah, I'm still holding.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Miss O'Neill. I'm one of the mothers of one of the girls from the Roller Derby League, the Assassination City Roller Derby League.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the members of the group, Assassination City, from Dallas. Now, the Dallas Derby Devils, the Triple Ds, are from Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my daughter, I said, that doesn't make any sense. They stole Dallas's name,
Mm-hmm.
Triple Ds. But they're called the Assassination City Roller Derby Girls. And this was back in the day, about 6 years ago.
Listen to your telephone. Don't listen to your radio.
To where she, this little girl, rolled into a tattoo parlor and was laying down some brochures, for them to give to people so they could come to their bout. And she didn't hear the officer calling her and saying, hey, you come here. Don't you go in there, and something like that. But he was saying, hey, you come here now. And she didn't hear him. But she come rolling around and then roll right back out toward the officer. He took her, he slung her head on the hood of his squad car. He busted her face. He broke her jaw. He knocked teeth out. And that girl, when they found her, was sitting on the ground with blood all over. And this was a black cop.
Was this a Dallas police officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, was it Dallas Sheriff Department, or county? Worked for Dallas County or what?
I don't know what that little girl did, but I think her parents sued the Dallas Police Department or something.
Okay. All right. Sorry that happened. We're talking about Dallas County and discrimination.
Let me just tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
They did stop a black girl on the freeway, and she was under the bridge. But they stopped her, and they slammed her head up against the bricks and broke her whole side of her face.
Well, I tell you what. You do. You call us back at a certain at another time.
Well, let me just tell you.
No.
They tried to do me that way.
Yeah, we're discussing something else this morning. But we thank you for your call to come in.
Well, you know what happened?
All right, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Dr. Smith. All righty. Good morning, Dr. Smith.
Good morning, Dr. Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
I just want to call in this morning to give a shout out to everyone to let them know that we're still working on the Home Rule School District Charter Program.
Great.
So, on Wednesday, June the 25th, at 6:30 p.m., we'll be at the Old Friendship West Baptist Church. That's at 616 West Peace Boulevard in Dallas, Texas. We'll have a discussion on that. You can get all the pros and cons on the Home Rule Charter. We're going to have the Honorable Mike Morath will be there to talk from the Dallas Independent School District. We'll have the Honorable Mavis Knight from the Texas State Board of Education, and the Coalition for the Accountable System of Education will be there to speak. And then coming in from Austin from the Texas Education Agency will be Mr. David Anderson, the General Counsel for TEA. And he will be there. He'll talk for about 30 minutes and answer all questions that's posed to him at that time. We are trying to get right at the bottom of this to make sure everybody get all the information they need on the Homeschool Charter Program.
Okay, now would you announce that date and time again and place?
Okay, the date again is at the Old Friendship West Baptist Church. Okay, the date is Wednesday, June 25th. It's coming Wednesday, June 25th at 6:30 p.m. at the Old Friendship West Baptist Church.
Right on Keith.
616 West Keith Boulevard in Dallas, Texas.
Is everybody invited?
Everybody's invited.
Everybody.
Encourage everyone else to come on out to this and come on and learn all that you can about what's going on in our school district. Everybody's invited. Bring everyone with you. We expecting a big crowd because we're here doing all we can for our children. Our children are at stake right now.
Okay. All righty. We thank you, Dr. Smith, for that information. All right. We're talking about Dallas County Sheriff's Department and the discrimination within Dallas County. And 972-647-1893. Discrimination. Again, introduce yourself so people will know who you are.
Yeah, my name is Dennis Jones, Dallas County Facilities Maintenance, 3 to 11:30 shift in downtown Dallas.
All righty. Young lady with you?
That's my wife, Annette Jones.
She's sure in your corner, I can tell.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Yeah. And Reverend Ron Wright, and with us, all right, and Brother Ike Steen. But when we see what's going on in our particular entities that we pay for directly with our tax dollars, and we are still being misused and abused. Although, boy, my Dallas County taxes are high. You pay those hospital taxes, you pay Dallas County taxes, and all of these taxes are extremely high. But we are paying for people to discriminate against us. We're paying for people to misuse us. We're paying for situations like you being talked down to, called out of your name, and mocked and done everything to. We actually pay for it to be mistreated. And somebody at Dallas County ought to be speaking up. Somebody ought to be putting a stop to this. What do you think about the leadership in Dallas County?
It's a whole new restructure. We need all new leaders down there at this time. I went through a deposition with John Wiley Price, Daryl Martin, and the supervisor.
What about Clay Jenkins?
Clay Jenkins, I haven't gotten in contact with him on that one. That's with my attorney and Reverend Wright. They're dealing with that. I've also talked to, when I got terminated, just to back it up a little bit for the public, I went to Craig Watkins, and I told him what had happened. And he told me this needs to stop. And he said, I need for you to go ahead and do the things that you need to process the paperwork, to do whatever you got to do. He couldn't advise me because I wasn't working for Dallas County at that time. So I did go to Mr. Watkins first, and he did tell me. He said, Mr. Jones, we know about it.
Well, now you're back working for Dallas County. Can you go back to him?
Right now, it's in the hands of their attorneys, which is Teresa, Frank, and my attorney that's dealing with this. So I'm trying to be within the means of my lawsuit that's going on downtown. It's not stopping. If you was there to see it, it's like slavery has not been demolished in Dallas County. You can put the front on in front of everybody and say everything is fine, but when you really open the door, you're going to see that they're really hurting some people down there.
If people wanted to contact you, are there any contact numbers?
At this time, I have Reverend Wright.
Yeah, we have them. If there are any other county employees that are going through some things and want to express any kind of racial, like I said, the women that had to hold their hands up, and we're looking into that because that's crazy in 2014, and the state law says you don't have to do that.
You didn't even have to do that when you were picking chopping cotton.
Yeah, you can call Justice Seekers Texas, and we'll look into the case. And that number is 214-779-3549.
So they must obviously still be a plantation down there.
Well, apparently it is from indications that we've been getting, and this is Dallas County, like I said, the maintenance department and the other departments. This is, and apparently it's been going on. We know what some of the other departments are doing, but we were shocked when this came to us.
Well, see, maintenance have always been a major part of the county commissioners' duties. Correct. Because basically they are what they are, county commissioners. They are not, for the most part, they work outside the city limits of cities.
Right.
They're there to build bridges, railroads, or do different things, and much of the things that are done needs to be done through the county commissioners, and that's a very important job. So you still have that plantation mentality out there, seemingly, in the county. And you say you're head of what, 5 different facilities?
Buildings itself that I work downtown.
You work in them?
I work them by myself every night and 5 days a week. It's sad that it's still alive today in Dallas County.
How did this get started?
Well, because of the it got started because of this is something that obviously the commissioners and them know about, and they let it happen.
What was the first sign of discrimination? What happened?
Wow, the supervisor at that time did not like me because I was kind of outspoken in the way he was talking to men and women and disrespecting them and cussing African women out, telling them that they can stuff Kotex in their mouth and If they didn't like it.
This was a white male supervisor?
Yes, sir. He got terminated. It made the newspaper. It was in the Dallas Morning News. It made Fox News with Sean Raff. Wow.
Okay, who replaced him?
Who replaced him? It was, he got fired for flipping off, how did it go? He flipped off one of the other supervisors. They called him up to a meeting on the third floor or fourth floor in the admin building. It was supposed to be kept under low key. Told the commissioner, F you.
Which commissioner he tell that?
This will be revealed with my attorney and Reverend Wright. It's one our man downtown. And told
John Wiley where to go.
Yeah.
All right. And then come on.
Oh, okay. No. And then the head of HR was told F you, and he was going to F her up. And they had to escort him out the building, which it was really...
Okay, now who replaced him?
Dale Lilly was always in charge. They put another man in charge named Paul Wright. And
he's a black man?
Gray. White man. Two white.
Put another white man over there.
Everybody's been moved up. If they look at what's going on over the past 4 to 6 years, every position in leadership that has been put in has been in white, as far as whites being put there, and not giving educated black men the opportunity that have the knowledge to do the job. And
they've never been given an opportunity.
Daryl Martin and them will take the paperwork, slide it to the side, and say, come here, and I'll give you the job because you one of the good old boys, and you go hunting and fishing with me, and we play tiddlywinks together on the weekends. So we don't get that opportunity. So when you have an educated black man, Hispanic, a woman with the same knowledge and better.
Now looking at those buildings, the ones that you announced, they are in District 3.
I'm not in District.
The buildings.
The buildings.
I said those buildings are in District 3.
No, they're directly downtown. Oh.
That's District 3.
Oh, okay.
What
hey.
district is that?
That's
John
Mr.
Wiley Price
That's
district.
Mr. Price.
That's District 3.
Mr. Price was much aware of what was going on, and he just pushed it aside. And the thing that gets me with the whole situation at Dallas County, what gets me with the situation at Dallas County, is when they fired my husband, they knew that ex-felon was allowed to work because John Wiley Price was the one that marched in on Dallas County and brought this forth so ex-felon can have a chance to work at Dallas County. And they knew when they fired him, it was still ex-felon still working there. And the sheriff department went along with it and allowed them to saying that he was never going to work back in the Dallas County jails. And that's when we had to fight to get an attorney to get my husband's job back, because I knew that Dallas County is a second chance organization.
All right, when will you get your day in court?
It's
October the 20th.
October the 20th.
October the 20th.
It's in summer judgment right now.
It's okay.
Summer judgment phase.
All right. So October the 20th, you should get your day in court.
Yeah, but if not before that point, that's where the justice seekers steps in, and they look at the whole oversight of everything that has happened at this point.
Yeah,
and
because it's
take
much
only the
bigger than
facts.
just you.
It is so big. I mean, it's sad that it's like we the simple people, we the people, need your help to get us.
You're speaking for a myriad of people that are out there that this is happening to in Dallas County, and it needs to be brought out, it needs to be exposed, and it needs to be corrected, correct?
Correct.
And you're exposing it, you're the man out front, and you call justice seekers, and justice seekers are going to help expose this and bring a change to this situation.
Amen.
Yeah, don't come on my show and you speak up here. We're not afraid to talk.
All right,
we
right.
talk here. We tell the truth. Well, I don't care who like it or who don't like it. We tell the truth. Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. After all of the situation was going on with my husband, no one never stopped these people from harassing him. They knew of the.
Are they still harassing you?
Yes, they are. At this point here.
What days do you work?
Monday through Friday, 3 to 11:30.
So as late as last night, you could have been harassed.
If the supervisors, Paul Wright and them, would have been there, they would have harassed me. They would have said something like, "Be careful walking to your car," and
threat. Those are threats.
That's in one of my write-ups of my grievances too. Wow, I can go down the line with so much stuff. And that's just one of many things that didn't happen to me over a period of time.
All right, Ike, you want to speak?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you from Texas?
No, I'm from California.
How long you been in Texas?
I've been here probably 10, 12 years.
Can I ask you about your educational background?
All the way to the 12th grade, a year of college, went to the Navy for 6 years, started my own business after I finished, licensed carpenter, and I've been employed as a independent contractor.
Well, you're an educated man, an entrepreneur, and you're not from Dallas. Have you ever seen this type of mentality in California?
No, they don't tolerate it. When I seen it and it started affecting me, and until it affects you, then that's when it becomes a problem. And now that it's happening to me.
What I'm saying is you bring forward a new way of thinking, a different way of bringing things to the county of Dallas. You're don't have that old beat down mentality, so you're a troublemaker.
That's what they look.
You're right. That's what they call me.
Because you're not going to say yes sir, no sir to people that look like you, and
that's what they
you your own man. They're not used to that. They used to, and the way they fight you in this city is with your job, because no money, no fight, and you come to justice seekers, get help, and you got other entities, What I'm saying is the whistleblower.
Understood.
The Whistleblower Act. That's federal government. And justice seekers can help you. Whistleblower Act can help you. But what you got to understand is the type of people we got here. Not only the type of people you're fighting against, but the type of people they're using to fight you. And what we have is a lot of black people that don't care.
Yeah, there's a lot of apathy in Dallas, and we'd like to thank you all for being a part of the program. It's time for us to take a short break, and we're going into hour number 2, and we'll be interviewing Reverend Jack Vaughn. He is the candidate for president of the National Baptist Convention, and others we will be talking to. So we thank you all for coming. Thank you for being a part of the program.
I'm not through with you. I'm not through with you. I'm taking the clothes off. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming.
All right. Yeah, but you're going to find the same thing going down everywhere.
Wow.
Whether you're in Los Angeles, New York, Miami, it's the same thing. We act the same everywhere we go. We do the same things, and we have stuff. And we don't get involved until you said it right, until it happens to us personally. Most of us don't ever get involved. We'll be right back. We'll take a short break. All right, we're back for hour number 2 in Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host, and we got a lot of things to talk about. We have DeAndrea Prince coming up at 8:20. We have right now on the KNON hotline a candidate for the presidency of the National Baptist Convention USA, the largest African American organization, the largest black organization in the whole world. We'd like to welcome to our KNON hotline the Reverend Dr. Jack Vaughn. Reverend Vaughn, is there? Reverend Vaughn, yeah, is he there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm wonderful. That first name is Randy, R-A-N-D-Y. Randy.
Wait a minute, who I know named Jack? Oh God.
I don't know, but I'm not Jack.
Oh God, that's another friend of mine. I don't know why Jack was on my mind. As well as I know Randy Vaughn, I am so sorry. But how are you doing this morning?
I better say thank God. It's been a long week here in Dallas as we've celebrated our Congress of Christian Education, and doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Yes. Have you enjoyed Dallas this week?
It's been a wonderful experience. It is time for me to go back down to Southeast Texas, Port Arthur, and again continue on this long trail of becoming the president of the National Baptist Convention.
Which church do you pastor in Port Arthur?
I'm the senior pastor at the Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church. I've served that congregation now for 31 years.
That's a long time, because you're a fairly young man.
Well, thank you.
To serve 31 years, yes.
Thank you.
You want to be the president of the National Baptist Convention. What would you do if you are elected?
Well, there are a number of things that needs to be done with National Baptists. I think the current state of affairs of National Baptists is warning in terms of fulfilling her mission and her mandates. And I believe God has given to us the vision as well as the the strength to move forward, to bring forth the changes, so that we might be more useful in the kingdom of our Christ.
Okay. Do you have ever worked with any foreign missions?
My God, I have over the years. I've got 18 years of working in Haiti, whereby we have built some 9 churches, several medical clinics. We have educated more than 3,000 orphans. We have they have become professional doctors, many of them, and there's various capacities. We've built seminaries in India. We have liaison work with brothers and sisters across Africa. And as well, we've established great communications with our brothers and sisters over in Korea. So yes, I have a very extensive background in working in the global fields.
Now, how long have you been running for the presidency of the National Baptist Convention?
Well, this is our election year. September 4th will be election day, 2014. There's a 5-year tenure, of course. I guess my journey for this seat began a year or so ago when we started plotting and planning how we would move about to move into that seat.
Oh, that's a phenomenal seat, being the largest African American, the largest black organization worldwide. How many members do y'all boast now?
Well, we boast 7.5 million approximate members, but again, over the years, that number can be challenged. But all in all, when you take in those churches that are registered and represented, I don't think that we can overlook the churches in our communities that are not registered. However, we can have different affiliations, but basically the agenda of the African American community remains the same. And I think the largest organization that we have as African Americans in the United States here, ought to be representative of all those numbers.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty close between USA and the Church of God in Christ. They both seem to be boasting about 6 to 7, 8 million people. That's a lot of people. Whatever the numbers are, it's a lot of people to be representing. And
it is.
And there are things that I see need to be done. Even when we look at, are we still planting churches in various places? Are we still helping to support pastors after they? If you plant a church, are you for church planting here in America?
I believe that's our biblical call, that we spread the gospel, that we witness and see growth in the kingdom of our Christ. I recognize and certainly receive the idea and notion of planting churches. However, we've got a lot of churches already planted that is caught in the struggle of life, and that could be for many reasons.
Right.
Truth is, we're seeing our congregations age, and many of our young people are now gravitating to other forms and expressions of faith. And as a result, again, I think that we've got to place serious concentration on our message. I think our traditions are fine, but I think our traditionalism has overcome us to the point that people are speaking elsewhere now. These become issues by which we need to deal with.
Do you believe the church is losing a lot of young people because of our old traditional ways of doing things, and young people just cannot identify what got me over our great Jehovah? I pilgrim through this barren land. I love the Lord. He heard my cry. Even the opening of services, once where that was praised to us. To young people today, that may not be praised to them. Do you think some things could be changed that would help to attract young people?
Well, I think that our traditions are fine. I think the basic message, our core message about our belief in Christ is fine, and how we express that, again, we have to meet the needs of all. I think that the church today has to become adaptive, that we be not so drowned I use the word traditionalism, how we practice our traditions.
Right. Well, now the church,
therein, I think there's a great disconnect. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now the church has changed. Now I remember the day and time that you didn't see a drum in a Baptist church.
Right.
That the drums came. I seen the time you definitely would not have a guitar.
Right.
In a Baptist church. But as times change, people have to change. Church traditions, these are not doctrines, these are just rudiments of traditions.
Right.
Can change because the Baptist church, do you feel like it's as dominant in the black community as it once was?
Well, I think that over the years she may have become what I refer to as a sleeping giant. I think that she deferred much of her spiritual authority over to other organizations, and of course left that work to others, and while she herself took a long nap. I think that it's time for the black church to rise, to be awakened. I think that it's incumbent at national level that we build an urban agenda that can give direction, can provide model programs and templates for our churches to be able to gravitate to, that really address the issues that we're faced with in our community.
In the Port Arthur Beaumont area, were there ever any churches that involved themselves strongly in the civil rights movement?
Yes, sir. By all means, Beaumont and Port Arthur, during that particular era, there were a number of predominant pastors, the late G.W. Daniels, the late Ransom Howard. All of those guys gave tremendous leadership through that awesome period. I was a young teenager myself, and remember a number of the events that occurred, engaging people, because the church was the forebear. It was the bastion of our community. And so, yes, that is so.
But there were many churches that were silent during the civil rights movement, that even Dr. King was not allowed to speak in that many churches across this nation. Did he ever speak in the Beaumont-Port Arthur area?
Well, Beaumont and Port Arthur, of course, might be considered as satellite cities out of Houston. I mean, it's not a major populace, and I'm not suggesting that Dr. King would not have visited, but certainly in his travels and noted travels, I don't recall that. Maybe that's because of my age at the time. And the years have passed. He coming to our area, but certainly our concerns were the same as those.
What about our seminaries? USA back, what seminary?
American Baptist College is the institution of our convention. However, we have strong associations with most of the black seminaries, and of course provide student scholarships to many of our HBCUs. And so I think it has a pretty good track record in terms of dealing with our colleges and seminaries.
Do you think USA needs a seminary that it owns?
Well, I think we need to, first of all, begin to make better what we have and strengthen the relationship between our higher education institutions with relationships that impacts the local church. And I think that there are some very serious issues that sometimes can be overlooked. And that is, again, when we refer back to the black community, in truth, in 2014, it's now the historic black community. It will never again be the community that you know and I know. And most of the churches that are still in our historical black communities, they're the remaining institution because all others have left.
Yeah, and I realize that, but there seems to be no seminary. We have, 3-4 major black Baptist conventions, and we have not come together in those conventions, those who are Baptists, to put the school back together. I remember, what was that, 83, 84? Back in the early 80s when both conventions were, one was in Dallas, the other was in Fort Worth. The Wednesday night of the convention when the two conventions were to come together, and they came together.
I remember that.
Yeah. Yes. But also that day, that's the day they closed Bishop College. The same day, Joseph Califano closed Bishop College that day. To me, that was always a slap in the face of our conventions. And we have not yet replaced Bishop, have we? Or what can be done to bring about something that the National Baptist Convention owns and controls?
I think when we began to understand the times of which we live and have the kind of leadership for which I propose, that makes it able for us to speak with leaders of other now Baptist movements. Again, I think we can reawaken the dialogue. But believe me, there is so much repair that needs to be done foundationally and fundamentally to all of our Baptist convention organizations. And I'm pretty sure the same would be much across the board with the others. That once we're able to get that in some kind of a fiscal shape, then I think we can begin to have the profitable dialogue.
Yes. Do you not think that would help really re-attract a lot of young people back to the church and not allow them to go off exploiting into other denominations? Or most of them are going what they call non-denominational and different things. They keep much of the same doctrine, but they're just not a part of the organization anymore. There are ways of bringing them back. Do you have any plans?
Well, we've got to understand, Pastor Barnett, that there are a number of trends that's impacting all church institutions, regardless of race, color, creed. We're living now in a day of the digital revolution. We're living in a multicultural society, and that's not a small word. We're living in a day when denominations are being challenged, and we're witnessing the emerging of new religious worship forms, from mega churches to mini churches, to back to the house church concept. The economic crises, the lure of the city versus the old rural churches. All of these are trends that are impacting religious institutions, irregardless of black, white, Baptist, Methodist. And so with that being said, in a postmodern day, it is impossible for us as a people now. Matter of fact, the challenge, if I might put it in these words, the challenge is how can we instill our values while they are being exposed to other values?
Yeah, but when the values in America, with the church eyes wide open, are eroding so fast. No family values anymore. The values that we see how we're portrayed on TV and what's happening on radio and what's happening with the recorded record and everything, seem as if the conventions have been quiet about really what's happening in America. And will there be an outcry? Will there be a change coming forth on the Randy Vaughn administration of the largest black organization in the world? Will there be a change in the directions of challenging some of the problems in our community?
I wholeheartedly thank you for that question, and I'm excited that you would ask that. The world is without a prophetic voice.
True.
And certainly as a part of my platform, my calling, I believe that National Baptist has to rise to be a prophetic voice. I think it's ours to speak against the many social injustices that we're faced with. I think it's ours to cry out the word of God. in a time such as this.
You know, Dr. Vaughn, Dr. Vaughn, I hate to cut you off, but we're completely out of time. I thank you.
Oh, my.
And Randy Vaughn will be on the ballot. Where is that going to be? In Phoenix or where will you?
That will be in New Orleans, Louisiana.
New Orleans in September for the presidency of the National Baptist Convention USA.
To all of my Dallas brothers and sisters, I need your support.
All right. Thank you. We're up against a short break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Like I said, we have a full table this morning, a full plate. Did you bring DeAndrea Prince on? Where is she on? Line 3? Okay. Line 1? We'd like to introduce to you all Miss DeAndrea Prince. She holds a master's degree in respiratory therapy, and she's on with us this morning. Also, DeAndrea, do you have someone else on the line with us?
Yes, I do, Reverend Barnett, and we'd like to say thank you for having us on the line.
Okay.
The Texas Sunset Commission is recommending to deregulate respiratory therapists along with 18 other licenses. On the line with me, I have Clarence French, the Director of Respiratory Care at MD Anderson Cancer Center.
In Houston?
In Houston, Texas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of the major things that this deregulation would do would definitely diminish the quality of care, as well as the potential risk of lives are at stake.
Mm-hmm.
Clarence, Mr. Finch, would you like to expound who respiratory therapists are, what we do, and this issue regarding the Texas Sunset Commission?
Yes. Thank you again, Reverend Barnett, for having us on this morning. Let me just go through a little bit about what we are and who we are. As a respiratory therapist and a member of the healthcare team, we are involved into a number of therapeutic interventions. Respiratory therapists are directly involved into the care of pediatric infants, severe asthmatic patients, patients with chronic obstructive lung disease, patients who are requiring life support machines or life support ventilation. And as a respiratory therapist and a member of the team, I'm shocked that the Sunset Commission staff believes that deregulation would have little impact on patient safety. Therapists work directly with the sickest patients, particularly when we know that the access to quality health care has been in question. And to further complicate it with delicensing is of a skilled member of the healthcare team is really appalling.
Now, when we talk about the word respiratory, that's breathing, right?
That is breathing. And
so do y'all help keep people alive? What do y'all basically do?
Absolutely. I heard a physician yesterday speak. He said you can go without water for a certain time, you can go without food for a certain time, but you can't go without air. And so respiratory therapies are really involved into making sure that we maintain air quality to the patient when they are sick, provide them with breathing therapies, breathing interventions to make sure that they can get beyond their initial primary ailment. That's what respiratory therapists do.
Now, what are they trying to do by deregulating? What are they doing?
Basically, what they're doing, they are allowing this deregulation would impact or could impact how the care is being given in the hospitals and in clinics. Respiratory therapists specialize, as I said, and they are unique members of the healthcare team. We exist.
But they're trying to turn this over to just anybody, or what are they doing?
Absolutely. So they are trying to.
Those who are trained in respiratory therapy, who hold degrees, just like doctors and other professionals in the field, they're trying to say you don't have to have this training to keep people alive, or what are they doing?
Well, potentially that's actually what could happen. What also can happen is that therapists, previous therapists who may have had their license revoked for whatever reason, can then come back into the practice at the bedside. These people and also these people can may have been kicked out of or delicensed from another state. So other states' respiratory therapists who may have had deregulation, or not deregulation, but delicense, can come into the state of Texas and practice respiratory therapy again. It will allow us to not have a vetting mechanism where we can determine if there was any frivolous activity on their part when they were respiratory therapists. So it puts the public at risk.
So y'all are really regulated, just like doctors and I guess RNs or whatever in the health field, correct?
That's correct.
So they're trying to remove the regulations and let others practice who may not be qualified to do this particular job.
Absolutely.
Who is they?
All righty. Now, these people that are doing this, again, what's the name of this? A Sunset Commission?
It is a Sunset Commission. There will be hearings on June the 23rd and June the 24th of this month to listen to the recommendations from the Sunset Commission to our state legislators.
Okay.
And then at that time, there will be testimony and some rebuttals from various respiratory therapy organizations and members across the state of Texas. And following that, the legislation will cast a vote on August the 13th.
The legislators will cast a vote?
Our legislators will be voting based upon the recommendations from the Sunset Commission.
Okay, so they will come back to Austin to vote on this particular ruling.
Exactly.
All right. Is there a number that the listeners need to call? Is it? Do they need to call their state representatives? Do they need to call the Sunset Commission? Do y'all have a number, a website that people can contact to ask them not to do this?
We are recommending that the website is the Texas Society of Respiratory Care. It is tsrc.org. There is a listing of all of the Sunset Commission as well as their various representatives.
Okay.
And so we are asking the public to voice their concerns. We do not want to have this deregulated because it will have such an impact on patient safety.
Could cause death, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could cause.
Yeah, because when you're messing with somebody's breathing, that's right there. I tell you what, let's take a couple of calls. Bring me Letitia on line 4, all righty? Good morning, Letitia.
Good morning.
Fine, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great this morning.
Yes, you have questions or comments?
Yes, I do. I just have a comment about the respiratory therapist. I am a registered respiratory therapist. I'm a director of a hospital here in Houston, and I just think it would be such a disadvantage for the public to have the respiratory therapist delicensed. As the fellow was saying earlier, I mean, we are a very important entity in the society of medicine, and we take care of so many different people. And for them to delicense us, it would actually hinder the patients, actually the therapists who have worked so hard, gone through the programs, and I just don't understand why they would try to make this go through.
Okay, is there any particular person that y'all know of or that's pushing this? Anybody?
No, the only thing that I've really heard is the Sunset group that was trying to push this through.
Who's the Sunset group? Do you know?
I'm not really sure. Well, actually, I heard about it through the TSRC. Someone who attended the TRC in San Antonio, and they come back and they were trying to inform everybody about this process about to happen.
Okay. Well, what were you saying?
Yes, I was saying that the Sunset Group is basically it's a group of a number of individuals that look at the cost of legislative or the cost of care, not care, but really it's the how to try to make it the taxpayers or basically they say they're overwhelmed. The DSHS are saying that they're overwhelmed by looking at all of these various disciplines that require a licensing, and they decided that it's just so many and it's costing the state so much money that they need to look at those disciplines or those entities that may not need to be regulated.
So in other words, they're willing to put the quality of care online to save a dollar.
That sounds like it in a nutshell.
Oh, okay. All right.
That sounds like it, because there's other entities that they can de-license besides a respiratory therapist. I mean, I don't know. They're doing the x-ray techs, and they're doing these massage therapists and things like that don't have direct patient care. Mm-hmm. If they're going to de-license someone, they should do someone that doesn't have direct patient care.
That respiratory therapist is directly there with that patient.
Yes, sir. That is direct patient care for a respiratory therapist.
All right. We thank you for your call. All right. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Jennifer on line 2. All righty. Good morning, Jennifer.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a respiratory therapist also, and I pretty much just did my 4-year degree to be a respiratory therapist. And I just want to say, like, us being de-licensed, I don't think that, something that the government, protects us to do. If you really want somebody who's straight out the street, messing with the ventilators, sectioning patients, that's like really critical things. And if they do it wrong, these patients can die.
So in other words, y'all saying don't turn novices or unskilled, untrained people with this profession.
Correct. Yeah. You just can't grab somebody from off the street and tell them, go work on a ventilator on a patient, and they have no idea if they put the pressures too high, too low. That can damage, the patient in so many different ways.
Well, I'm trying to reason some sanity in this. This sounds insane. I wouldn't want a doctor cutting on me that haven't been to school and don't know what he's doing, and he's going to do an open heart surgery.
So who do we need to get in touch with? Our state representatives, or who do we need to get to as citizens? Who do we need to address this case to as citizens? Who do we need to address?
State representative. Your state representatives.
And
your state
will it do any good to call this Sunset Commission? You don't think so?
No, I don't. It wouldn't hurt, but primarily the state representatives are the ones who are going to vote on the Sunset's recommendation.
Okay. That includes the state Senate?
That includes the state Senate, Senate and Congressmen. And I truly believe that it's a travesty that our elected officials would even consider placing patients in harm's way.
Wow.
At such a vulnerable time in their life.
Is this born out of strikes against Obamacare?
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. We don't know the undercurrents of it, but I do know that we are so opposed to it that because no other healthcare provider that receives this type of training like respiratory care providers do. This deregulation will potentially create harm for the public. I can't say that enough.
Is this the first time it's been addressed? Is this the first time this issue
in this state?
In this state?
In this state, they have tried. It has been looked at in the state of Michigan, and this may be a trend or a wave, and that's my concerns after being in the respiratory for some 30 plus years. I am completely concerned for not only the patients, but also the profession and the quality that hospitals may have to provide.
All righty. Let's go to our phone lines and say, go to line 4 and say, is that Dolores? Who is it? Dolores?
Yes.
All right. Good morning,
Yes.
Dolores.
Good morning, sir. My name is Dolores, and I've been a respiratory therapist for 25 years. And I received extensive training, got my degree, and it really concerns me that after all the training that I have received, that people that, basically don't realize the scope of what we do, are willing to throw away the safe care of patients and allow potentially somebody that can harm a patient to take care of them.
Well,
and so I really
want a rookie working on me. Don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. So I really want to make sure that the public is aware that this is a public health issue. Although the Sunset Commission is in a way their stance is to protect public health, it's kind of a hypocrisy in a sense, because in actuality it will endanger the public health if you have people that have criminal backgrounds working with you, and maybe only received a minute amount of training that I went to school for 2 to 4 years for. And so I really urge the public to get out there, get a hold of your local legislatures, and let them know, hey, my health is at risk. I want people that are highly trained and know what to do with me when it comes to when I can't breathe, when my baby's born and can't breathe. The respiratory therapist is the one that's going to help them out.
Okay. Thank you, Dolores. I tell you what, we have a doctor on the line. We have a physician. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Dr. Travis Edwards. All righty? Dr. Edwards.
Hello, Reverend Barnett. How you doing?
Great, man. Were you listening to this conversation?
I just got in on the conversation. This is barbaric.
Well, it's hard for me to believe what I'm hearing.
I mean, people, kids with asthma, which is real bad here in Texas, CHF, COPD, pulmonary embolism. I mean, you need some real skilled people to deal with this. I mean, this doesn't even sound like it's real.
Well, I'm trying to make some sense out of it because if you lying there and can't breathe, and you have someone handling the situation that don't know what they're doing, they could kill you. It doesn't take long.
They can make the difference in life and death. They are very important to us in care. I hadn't even heard of this before until this morning. Until I finally got you. I did it off of work, but this is. I'll be contacting the state representative.
Please do. We have our state representatives. Our state senator in 23rd district is Royce West. We have what's the young lady? Yvonne Davis.
Yvonne Davis. Yeah.
What's called Helen Giddens. And what's Charles Rose's daughter?
Tony
Rose.
Eric Johnson.
Yeah, Eric Johnson. We need those numbers. We need to look those numbers up and give those numbers out. Everybody need to call their state representative to vote no.
Vote no.
Yeah, because you're actually playing with people's lives. And this is, I don't know, it seems like they're willing to play Russian roulette with people's lives by putting someone there that's unqualified. Now,
you can almost tell that there's some big money behind it somewhere. There's the shenanigans going on. So, but I had not heard of this, Reverend Barnett, and I will get with you and Reverend Wright. I'll get with you all on this.
Call me because now my phone is back working. I dropped it in some water. So I have my phone all the time because I'll be on the move and eating and have Cokes and everything, and I'll stick my phone off in one of the deals in the car. And most of the time,
it's full of water.
People be upset with me because they can't reach me, but I know my phone. All right, give me a call. It's working now. All right, thank you. We're up against a short break, and Ms. Prince?
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all, and we're going to be giving out those numbers to the state representatives here in Dallas and asking people to call those state representatives to vote no against this particular provision dealing with respiratory therapists. We're gonna keep this going because hey, I don't want to see people die, and I wouldn't want to die because of having an unskilled person there working with it.
Can we get their contact number?
Yeah, what's y'all's contact numbers?
Okay, my contact number is 713-792-
792
2529.
2529. We'll be contacting you. We're going to keep this going because, hey, this is life and death here.
All right. Thank you so much for having that.
All right. Thank you. Thank both of y'all. Okay. Jay, we're up against short break, and we'll be right back. All right. We're back on Church Information and Open Forum. Still in the studios with us, we have Reverend Ron Wright. Also with us in the studio, still with us, is Mr. Ike Steen. Gentlemen, what do y'all feel about it? All this going on, and it looks like we're being hit from every side. Seems you absorb one, here come another one, or sometimes they hit two at a time. What do y'all think? What's going on in our society?
You asked a question, Pastor, about this having anything to do with Obamacare and the physicians saying.
Well, it never came up before in history.
But I'm believing this is all about Obamacare. It's just a way of attacking, but this is serious.
Oh,
and I'm
playing with your life.
Yeah, they playing with our life now, and so I'm going to contact them, and we're going to see what we can do to help get this information out to the public and to our state representatives. Let them know we got to vote no for this.
Nillifer, I need you to look up the numbers of Yvonne Davis.
Eric Johnson.
I can get you Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson. Who else? Rose.
Tony Rose. Helen Giddens.
Helen Giddens. Yeah.
Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson.
Well, this is a state thing here. The state legislature and Royce West. We need to get their numbers and people.
This is serious.
If we don't get it out to you today, we'll be giving it to you next week for them to vote against this. If that passed that committee, the Sunset Committee, and go into the House, and they'll have an opportunity to vote on it, we want this to be voted down. Now, you also said, Ike, it could be union busting. I don't know if this is union busting or not. It could be. I don't know if they're unionized, but the guy that was on there that you heard, he's the wheel at MD Anderson, which is the biggest and the number one cancer center in all the world. And they are all fighting against this, and they kept talking about babies. I just had one of my grandsons that was just born. At first, he had a little breathing problem. They kept him in the hospital 2 or 3 days. And those respiratory therapists was the one took care of Christian. Mm-hmm. And I know how important they are. They're very important. So we don't need amateurs handling this. We need well-trained professionals. And they could be union busting, but I haven't touched that deep in it yet.
Well, you look at what you were talking about, is breathing. Well, look what we got going on right here in our own city. You got West Nile spray. Everything is interfering with your respiratory system.
Yeah.
We got asthma, pollution, and everything. So these people are fighting because they have educated themselves in this field, and to take it in. All that education is going.
Well, you got people that has masters and doctorates in this field, so that lets you know it's a very important field. You know, this is not those who get the lower degrees, such as a 2-year degree. They started out, they're starting out training, but you have people that are highly skilled in this, that they put on cases and everything. And believe me, you do not want to go into a hospital and not have insurance, and they call in one of those people that that doesn't have a lot of skills. You don't want anybody working on you that is not skilled.
If you do this, then next is going to be the pharmacists and everybody.
Oh yeah, they won't have they'll figure if you know how to deal crack cocaine, you can work in the pharmacy. Right. It's so ridiculous. It's mind-boggling. It's ridiculous. 972-647-1893 is the number to call if you'd like to join this conversation. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Terry. All righty. Good morning, Terry.
How you doing, sir, this morning?
Fine. How are you?
Just a second. Let me let someone speak with you. Here's Mr. Johnson. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I was trying to get in touch with you on your phone, your cellular phone.
Yeah.
About that service connect.
Well, I was waterlogged. I stuck it in a cup that I had some water. Forgot the water was in the cup. I stuck it in the cup just to hold it while, keep it while I'm driving. And it went out. I finally got it dried out. I got it dried out on yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think, well, actually what I need an attorney, you know what I'm saying? Because this has been going on so long, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I know if I need to get proper medical care too, you know what I'm saying? These hospitals, you know, as far as the proper medical care,
right?
Service-connected benefits, you know, that's more benefits and more medical care that I could receive, you know, from everything.
You want a lawyer? I tell you what, I got one in mind, and I'll see, and I have your number in my phone. I'll give him your number and have him to call you, okay?
I surely hope you so.
Okay.
Minister, thank you and bless you.
All right, God bless you. All right, 972-647-1893. Man, we got so many people that's having personal problems.
It's something that goes on daily, and it's just sad that and I thank God for men like y'all who find it not robbery to go out and try to help some people, but we've got to get away from this. It's only until it affects me that I want to get involved.
And that's one of the things that really get you. People don't seem to care until it happens to them.
Until it happens to them. Last night, I went to a little function last night, and there was a lot of different people there. And but at the end of the day, we got to get rid of that mentality. I thank God that people like you, Reverend Barnett, and Dr. King didn't have that mentality. We'd be in the world of trouble.
Yeah, man. I just, you know, we don't realize how deeply and closely we're tied in together. If it happened to you, Ike, or anybody, hey, eventually it's coming to my doorstep.
Exactly. Exactly. We need and when we think about, Pastor, with me, you go back when we first thought about even unarmed men being shot by police. Yeah. If I'd have had y'all, I remember seeing you in Reverend Barnett. I remember what about seeing us? Had y'all stood up with us back then, this wouldn't have happened now. Right. I was with a young man yesterday in his late 70s, back in the early 70s, and he said that the way we get Dallas County to do the right thing is quit paying taxes.
Well, that's sure will get their attention.
He said they take your house, they can't do nothing with them. So
let's go to our phone line and say good morning to Watson on line 2. All righty.
We family. And look at in a way, you know what I mean, Bernadette. I've known you a long time. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you're a victim and you've been victim, I've been a victim of this, what you all are talking about. Mm-hmm. This physical therapy and stuff, they came to my home. And I don't want to, I can just say, you know, they were, you know, who they were. They were, you know, the people from over there that comes over and they get their license and they're there. And I asked this woman, I was being helped, really. I'm truly, you know, I'm telling the truth. And all of a sudden she come and she said, I need to evaluate you. I said, you already have. And so, but we won't be able to do you anymore. And I said, well, why? Tell me. But did you not know? She said, well, you know, things happen. And I never heard from them anymore.
Oh, this was a respiratory therapist?
Yes.
And she stopped treatment on you?
Also, she physical therapy show. And then I got a friend. She got that kind of care at home.
Well, who's your agency, healthcare agency that you go through?
Let's see. Well, now they dropped it. H&H, they put it down. They don't do that.
They're not in business anymore?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, you need to contact Dallas County Health Department and
211, and they'll help them. Dial 211 and ask them.
Yeah, well, thank you, because I got a lot of folks that right now at home with that respiratory with the tank, and I said, oh, Lord, I got to call.
And they're talking about
who is that you say don't
degrading this. But I said don't vote for.
No, we ain't gonna vote for nobody like that.
No, okay. All right, then. Thank you, ma'am. We're going to want you to call your state legislator, and we'll be giving numbers out. So stay tuned.
Yeah, well, I got a pencil. I'm ready.
Okay.
Thank you, Reverend Burnett.
All righty. All right. You got Eric Johnson's number. Give her. He may not be hers, but call him anyway. Call them all. When y'all call one, call all of them. Everybody make this a task. Come Monday, call them out. Oh, well, hey, Nilifer is got it. I got it right here. Rev.
Okay.
We have Royce West. Y'all get. I'm gonna come back to you. You get your pen and paper. I'm gonna give you these numbers. All right. Let's go spend a moment with Willie because we're just about out of time. All righty. Good morning, Willie.
Yes, good morning, Reverend Barnett. Thank you for taking my call. I don't know if you've addressed this issue that happened this week, but if you did, I didn't hear it. What do you think going to happen to those security jobs and get free welfare and everything? Parents send them over here so they can come on over here, have a good excuse.
You know what? To me, it's something I don't know about this. Now they're really cool. These are young children from where I'm looking at. They're teenagers or even less, and that's a dangerous trek because many times they're killed in Mexico to keep them from getting to the United States, and they're getting here. Everybody knows that the females are raped. It's a dangerous trek. The whole thing that's going on is very, very dangerous, but they're doing it anyway. So it seems like it could possibly be some compliance with the United States to do this. I hate to take that right-wing conservative view, but I can't see. Can you see a child traveling thousands of miles through dangerous hostile territories
and making it?
And that's what gets me. Something's not right.
Something is not right there.
Something's not right there, and I don't know. You know, the caller make a great, and I know the caller made a great point. Is that they come over and they get the jobs, and that's the excuse for the parents to come, and then the American population decreases in employment while they come into this country, immigrants take all the jobs, and before you know it, we'll be all the homeless people who fought to build this country.
We need to go, if the government is serious about this, controlling this, go after these corporations who hire. If you hire someone that's undocumented, you are fined, and eventually the person that heads the company is going to prison. That'll put a stop to all this mess.
Well, we got people right here that can't provide their own medication and their own food, and because they are elderly people, they don't make enough money to live, but they make too much money to buy food and medication and pay the bills.
Yeah, but when you look at our resources, take like Parkland Hospital, Woo, Lord, and that's really what happened to our.
The emergency wait is sometimes 24 hours.
Right. Wow. All right, let me get these state legislators' numbers out. Yvonne Davis, she's 214-941-3895. Royce West, 214-467-0123. Helen Giddings, 214-943-4120. Tony Rose, 214-371-3390. I know that's pretty fast, and we're going to be giving it out each week because we want that voted down. And I tell you what, let's hurry to get our job line.
Yeah, Eric Johnson's number is 214-565-5663.
Oh, Eric Johnson's number, wasn't on it? Oh, okay. All right, I got it. Yeah, 214-565-5663. All right, bring Greg up. All right. Greg, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Reverend Barnett.
We'd like to say good morning to Mr. Greg Barber with our SAT job line, Solution in Action Today job line. Greg, are there any jobs out there?
There are some jobs out here this morning on our SAT job line, starting with Omnitrax is looking for customer service representatives, asking you to apply online at www.hirebridge.com. That's www.hirebridge.com. AAA Automotive is looking for customer service representatives, asking you to apply online at www.aaa-calif.com. Once again, AAA Automotive is looking for customer service representatives, asking you to apply online at www.aaa-calif.com. Door Control Services is looking for warehouse personnel. They're asking you to apply online at www.doorcontrols.USA.com. That's www.doorcontrols.USA.com. United National Food Incorporated is looking for warehouse personnel. They're asking you to apply online at www.warehousepersonnel. The address, they're looking for warehouse personnel. The address is www.unfi-openhire.silkroad.com. Once again, that's United National Food Incorporated looks for warehouse personnel. They're asking you to apply online at www.unfi-openhire, OPENHIRE.silkroad, SILKROAD.com.
Dear Greg, I am completely out of time. Thank you.
One last thing, Reverend Barnett. I want to say happy birthday to two individuals, to Stephanie Young. Happy belated birthday to Stephanie Young and to Sean Lacey over the last couple of days.
All righty.
That we bring our SAT job line to a close.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you all for calling. Thank you, Ike. Thank you, Dr. Wright, and for being a part of it. And we got a run coming next is Workers Beat. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and you're welcome to come to Heavenly Joy Church, located at Bruton and Masters. Service again at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people. Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.